Well, welcome to the Top Gun Show. Today we have a returning guest, a good friend of mine, Phin. Don is a high-powered executive coach and leadership trainer. Don has worked with over 6,000 CEOs and many of their teams to develop better stories so they can produce better results. So I want to talk to you today about a topic that you call the drama triangle. Why don't you define for us the drama triangle?
Sure. First of all, pleasure to be back here again. Always fun to work with you. The setup you see I have today, I just sharing with Steve, I just finished doing a workshop a 3-hour workshop for a dozen CEOs in Minneapolis on a Zoom meeting. So this is to keep it simple and just work off the flip chart is the way I like doing it.
Nice.
But the drama triangle, we've all aware of, it's been around forever. And since we were little kids, we knew about the roles of the victim, the villain, and the hero. And as Shakespeare so eloquently said, that all the world's a stage. So every day we're walking onto this emotional stage and we're playing one of these three roles. And we're generally not aware of that until something feels unfair. That's when the drama begins, right? When everything's all happy, we're having great dramas, but the negative drama begins the second something feels unfair. And we tend to adopt one of these three roles. So let's just run through them quickly and give you little hints about how to maybe deal with each one of them. All right. So the first role here is of the victim. And anybody who tells me today that they don't feel victimized by whether it's the coronavirus or the politics or the economy or whatever it is, I'm calling, you know what, on that. So the reality is all of us have that going on right now, and you'd have to be a robot not to feel some victimization. So how do we get out of the victim role? And there's three words that we use: coax, encourage, and inspire. So when we coax ourselves through something, we ask ourselves, what's the first safe step here? Well, let me try that and see how it feels. So we only get through anything one step at a time. Taking a leap is too scary and too risky, right? So we get to things one step at a time. We get out of them one step at a time. But the sentence to use, and by the way, very powerful sentence to use in selling, let's try this as a first safe step and see how that feels. There's a lot of languaging embedded in that. You might want to get really good at remembering that sentence, okay? So now the second role here is that of the villain. And many bosses have been villainized throughout the millennia. I mean, sitting at the dinner table, all the stories, all the movies, the boss is somehow manipulative, bad person, which of course is a story not associated with reality, right? There's good bosses and bad bosses, like there's good employees and bad employees. But we can certainly be villainized as a boss, as a salesperson, as a coworker, if we don't show other people that we care about them. All right. So if we don't show other people that we care about them, it's easy to drop us into that default role. See, you're a boss. I knew you didn't care about me. That's reality of bosses anyway. So if you don't proactively show people you care about them, and the very best way to show anybody you care about them is to listen to them. Be a good listener. I just did an exercise where everybody's forced to listen to each other for 5 minutes with no interruption. And it was an amazing exercise because people got to really articulate themselves for the first time in a while. A couple other things came out of that. So you don't want to be villainized. Show people you care about them. Now, the last role is this role of the hero, the one we all try to put ourselves into. Most of us don't wake up with the idea, I'm going to be a victim today or I'm going to be a villain today. We try to be our heroic selves. And the challenge with this is the energy that we bring to it. We can think that in order to be a hero, we have to have this super strong energy all the time. And it can be very exhausting to us and the people around us. So, is your energy too strong? Are you kind of running like this all the time in this hero role? I got to control the situation, make it happen. Who wants to be around that? People want to be around this. People are open, willing to learn, and willing to share, be inclusive, all those types of things. So a couple of things about the hero role. Number one, you do not have to self-sacrifice to be a hero. That is just mythology, okay? And I ran into it in my early on in my litigation days, working 70 plus hours, thinking somehow I was being a hero, and all I was doing was killing my marriage and burning myself out. So that story of self-sacrifice to be a hero is nonsense. Another story about being a hero, it somehow has to be hard. So you get this image of pushing a rock up a hill, and sooner or later get up to the precipice, and then it's easy street after that. Well, that's just languaging on top of what you have to do anyway. So what if it wasn't hard? What if being a hero was easy? When I went to law school, a bunch of my classmates said, this is going to be hard. And for them, it was very hard. For me, I'd already had dealt with some hard stuff. And I figured learning from smart people and talking back to smart people, how hard could that be? And I'm going to have fun at this. So we did the same classes, did the same studying, took the same exams, got the same degree. I went through 3 years of having fun in law school. They tortured themselves for 3 years simply because that's the story they put on stuff, the same stuff we both did. So you don't have to put this story on top of it. It's going to have to be hard. So two things. Number one, you don't have to self-sacrifice in order to be a hero. And it doesn't necessarily have to be hard. How do we make this easy? How do I make this fun? So that's a little bit about the drama triangle.
That's great, man. And I know you have so much more content, and trying to condense it down into a couple minutes is kind of hard, but great job. As you were talking, it seems to me that there's more drama in today's working environment than I've seen in any other time in my life. I don't know if that's just, we're not seeing each other face to face or what, but what do you think about that?
That is what's going on out there. So it's right out of some Jungian thing that people can hide behind their shadows. So I kid around, they're able to kind of hide behind their little Zoom remote workplaces. And the challenge with that is you don't have all the physicality associated with communication. Where they say 80% of communication is physical, right? So we're losing a lot of that on these Zoom meetings, and people are stressed and they're more reactive. There's more victimization going on. And remember, for every victim, you've got to find a villain. So there is more drama going on than ever. That is a fact. And it doesn't surprise me. If it's on the outside, it's on the inside. There's a lot of drama out there. There'll be a lot of drama in here too.
Yeah, great point. Great point. You've talked about some solutions on the drama triangle, but just boil it down to a tip or two. What can you suggest to help business leaders not only cope, but master their environment?
Okay. So in this business about inspiring here, we were just talking about that. Of all my reading, one book, one thought came out above all the others about how to hold ourselves right now and deal with our workforce. And that's the idea of anti-fragile. So Talib Nassim first wrote the book Black Swan about black swan events. And then he wrote the book Anti-Fragile. And he said that when you're fragile, there's a lot of people right now, they don't have savings, they lose a job, they're very fragile, they can be out on the street, which is why you have so much government intervention, right? The second type of conversation you hear a lot about today is resilience. So resilience is like, I can take the hit and come back. I can take the hit and come back. It's like a bamboo, right? So you might lose some savings. You might have to work a little longer. You might have to do that, but you'll have food on a table, roof over the house, and survive, right? That's resilience. Anti-fragility, according to Nassim, is like nature. Nature gets hit with disorder and chaos and evolves to a higher state, which is what makes nature anti-fragile. So my thought process for myself and a lot of the executives that I coach is I want to hold myself as being anti-fragile in the making. Okay, so I'm going to come out of this thing stronger than ever, not survive it. I'm going to come out of this stronger than ever. If I can learn how to do that, I make myself anti-fragile. I can handle disorder and chaos and come out stronger every time.
Very good, very good. Well, Don, thanks again for being on the show, and thanks for sharing so much wisdom and some great points around drama triangles and how to avoid them. So anyway, thanks again. I really appreciate you being on.
Here's to your anti-fragility. There you go. All right.
Anti-fragility. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye-bye.